Hello, Zuko here, and it is time for me to tell you guys what my reading goals and stuff are for the year of 2020. So, I like to make boards of goals. You can read that if you want to pause it. But I have the first goal on here is to read 30 books. So that's what I've put, I think, as my Goodreads challenge, and that's what I've put on here, to read 30 books this year. I think that's doable. It's pretty doable. But then I gave myself like little things that have to be included in those 30 books. So it has to include a fantasy, because I don't read fantasy and I would like to try. So maybe I'll try to read the Grishaverse, or I'll read that Brandon Sanderson series everyone talks about. The Mistborn trilogy? There's 6 books now, aren't there? The Mistborn series. Because I want to try to get into fantasy, or at least try to see if I like fantasy, because I don't know if I do or not. I just know that I like D&D, and I like fantasy movies and shows, but I feel like fantasy in books is a lot harder for me to get immersed personally. So I haven't had good luck with it in the past, the very few times I've tried to get into it. The next thing on this list is that I want to read an intimidating book. So something probably with 500 or more pages. Something that's chunky, something that I wouldn't normally pick up right now because things like that scare me. So just a big old book or a big old series that is intimidating. The next thing on my list is to do a reread. It doesn't have to be a reread of a series, although I'm really considering rereading Twilight, which I guess would also count as an intimidating book. But those books don't intimidate me. I've read them like 4 or 5 times each. Like, I think they're pretty easy books. But it could be as simple as rereading Coraline in October, or as much as rereading the whole Twilight saga. We'll see. That's just one of my goals. Then I have to read a Maggie Stiefvater Otter book, because I think I have almost all of them now, except for most of the Werewolf trilogy, and I think there was a trilogy around that time that I also don't have. But I have a lot of her books, and I would like to actually read them now, because I should be reading them. So I want to read at least one of her books this year. It's the goal. The second to last thing on my reading goals challenge list thing is to read a dystopian series, because I have a lot of dystopian series that I bought when I was younger, like a teenager, when the Hunger Games was big and there were a bunch of copycats, and I would like to read those because I'm trying to weed out the ones that aren't good and not worth keeping. And lastly, I don't know if any of you guys follow Ariel Bissett and Raylene's podcast, Books Unbound, but my last thing on here is to read a mashed potato book. So that is a book that you think you will love, so you are saving it for later. You're like, I want this, so I'm gonna put it over here so that I can have it later. When you should just be like consuming the book now. But I have a lot of books like that where I'm like scared to read it because I'm scared it's gonna be good, I guess. I find it a lot easier to read books that I don't want to keep than I do reading books that I will enjoy, and I don't know why. I think it's because I'm in a mindset where I'm trying to declutter my books, and I do also hope, just as a thing, to do more unhauls this year as I read more. Hopefully there's more books that I don't think I will ever reread and won't keep. And I hope I will do less hauls, but right now, guys, I have a big haul coming. It was an accident. But yeah, as an offshoot of my reading goals, I also have the goal of unhauling more books, because I don't need all of the books that I've ever read. Like, I'm not one of those people. I'd like to read books, and if it's not a book that I really like or ever see myself rereading, I want to just pass it along and donate it to my local used bookstore, because they are great and I would like to continue to support them with all of the extravagant amounts of books that I buy. So yeah, that is my Goodreads reading challenge, plus all of my mini goals of what I want to read this year, plus my unhaul goal. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you have put your Goodreads reading challenge as. And also my Goodreads is always in the link below if you would like to follow me. Also, so is my Instagram. I don't know, I don't post a lot of book stuff there. It's just me being aesthetically pleasing. And I will see you whenever I do my next video.